Back on the cobbles, on her way to get her DNA results, is Shelley King. Although her character Yasmin was born and bred in Pakistan, Shelley's own family heritage is more complicated.
All my television life, I have been a South Asian actress.
There are many surprising things about me, Kirk. I am, as they say, a dark horse.
People have identified me with the Indian subcontinent. There must be Indian in my blood. My grandfather was very dark, but nobody in my family has ever told me where my Indian blood comes from.
Shelley grew up in India, but her family always said they were of British and Portuguese heritage. And the family surname seemed to confirm this, with no Indian names in the family tree.
I want a bit of evidence to justify my belief that I am Indian, because I would be proud. Hi, I'm Shelley.
Hi.
Shelley, Nikki.
Nikki, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
And you.
How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Are you?
Yes. It's been on my mind for my whole life because I've never known how precisely to identify myself to people. I think I would have a lot of English and Portuguese, and I would hope somewhere in that I would have the Indian that I'm supposed to be.
This is a big thing for you, isn't it?
It's enormous. It's extraordinary. Shall we?
Shall we?
Please.
Deep breath.
Asia South, 40%. Wow. Great Britain, 39%. Wow.
Right, initial reaction.
There's a big percentage of British and Indian in me.
When we look at these clusters added together on a continental level, that's 59% Asian.
It's extraordinary.
You mentioned the Portuguese connection.
Yes.
I'm
Nothing, I know.
Zilch.
And yet De Cruz was a very Portuguese name. Now, I don't know how that came.
I think you're going to need to look for evidence in your family tree.
Yes, thank you so much, really.
Well, over to you.
Over to me.
It makes me feel justified. I've always thought I had Indian in my blood. But when I found out there was no Portuguese in my DNA, I was really shocked. And it does make me question where this name De Cruz comes from. That's my next step.
Kolkata in northwest India. Shelley lived here until she was 10, close to her grandmother, Birdie De Cruz. To find out why she had this Portuguese name, but no Portuguese DNA, Shelley is on her way to meet Anuradha Chatterjee, an expert in the history of the Portuguese in India.
Hello.
Anu, I'm Shelley.
So nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you. Do sit down. I'm really puzzled because I know that I have Portuguese connections. This is my grandmother and my granny. So my grandmother's name was Birdie De Cruz, which is Portuguese. So why have I not got any Portuguese DNA?
Well, actually, the Portuguese were the first Europeans to come to India.
The Portuguese established the first sea route from Europe to India in 1498, building colonies along the coast.
The Portuguese converted large numbers of Indians to Christianity. And when they converted, the Portuguese gave them Portuguese surnames.
So an Indian man might have suddenly been given this name, De Cruz.
There are lots of De Cruzes, De Souzas, De Silvas, Rosarios, Gomes in this part of India.
Okay.
And they're probably Indian in origin, but originally converted by the Portuguese.
That was extraordinary. It's answered so many questions about the Portuguese bit that I can put to one side, actually.
But contrary to what Shelley was always told, over half of her DNA is Asian, which means that she must have Indian ancestry on both sides of her family tree.
Now I want to find out about my granddad's line. That could very well be Indian as well. That's the next stop, and that's the next step that I'm going to take.